What if you could pay for your next bus ride with plastics or exchange a bunch of wrappers for a plate of food? Trash is everywhere in homes, schools, and the streets. We throw it out, ignore it, and sometimes even pretend that it just disappears. But in some parts of the world, trash is evolving into something more. Trash is becoming money. This is not just a conversation about recycling, but a redefinition of value. With our world drowning in waste, poverty, and inequality, waste may just be the next best thing. Imagine a world where waste becomes useful, poor people get easier access, and pollution turns into opportunity. This video goes in depth into the topic by exploring the scale of the problem and everything that can be done to solve it in simple ways. This is the trash economy. To understand why this is an important conversation to have, we must understand just how big of a problem it is. According to the United Nations Environmental Programme, our world is spilling out over 430 million metric tons of plastics every year. More than half of this usually becomes waste after a single use. Just 9% of this massive waste is effectively recycled, and the rest, they end up in landfills, rivers, the oceans, or are burned up in open air conditions, leading to several forms of pollution. This is prevalent in the global south, where waste there are limited, underfunded, and sometimes no proper waste management infrastructure exists. The impact on our lives and society is far more than we can imagine. Microplastics contaminate even the deepest parts of the ocean. Toxic fumes from waste burning raise the risk of respiratory diseases in the slums. Life expectancy and quality of life for people in these regions is at an all-time low, but there are also economic implications. Local governments are having to throw billions into ocean operations, and the informal waste sector continues to run at the risk of extinction without proper labor rights or any formal recognition. So, where do we go from here? What are the chances that this massive waste problem will ever go away? Well, some models have worked in the past. These could be modified and implemented under different settings, especially in rural communities where opportunities and access are not at their highest. To show just how effective a waste-to-value system can be when implemented properly, we will explore 3 case studies in different parts of the world. In 2018, the Indonesian city of Surabaya launched a public transit program that collected plastic bottles and cups from citizens in exchange for bus rides. The system allowed people to trade 5 bottles or 10 plastic cups for a ride. In this way, giving citizens affordable transportation and also keeping the streets clean. In the first year of the problem, more than 6 tons were collected per month. Bus usage also went up by 30% and littering went down by 15%. This is the perfect example of small-scale solutions that can spark widespread change. Now that more people are incentivized to take bus rides, there is a radical reduction in carbon emissions from private car use, with more value placed on plastics for the average person. There is less littering and the government can save billions on waste management. The story is about the same in Ambikapur in India, where an initiative was designed to offer meals in exchange for plastics. For a kilogram of plastic waste, a person gets a hot meal, and even at half a kilo, one could still get breakfast. But where did all that plastic then go? Well, rather than lying on the roads and causing pollution, they become a part of the road. The plastics are collected and used to build more eco-friendly and durable roads. Since 2019, thousands of kilograms of plastics have been collected and safely repurposed, and hundreds of people have also been fed as a result. This approach not only addressed a waste crisis, but also one of mankind's most pressing issues: hunger. Interestingly, And Bikapur ended up in the ranks of some of the cleanest cities in India. But there is one more that really brings the conversation home for me. The RecyclePay project was an initiative in Lagos, Nigeria that gave less privileged families the opportunities to send their children to school by paying tuition with plastic. Parents provided recyclable waste that was weighed and converted into credit that paid tuition fees. In a year, the project collected more than 40,000 kilograms of plastic, and schools reported a 15% increase in attendance. In this version, the initiative used ways to tackle another very pressing need in a developing nation: education. But beyond that, it meant that a younger generation is also learning about environmental sustainability and waste management. Informal recyclers get the access to a more formal system, and low-income families can send their kids to school. All of this sounds almost too good to be true, but it is evidence that it works. So the bigger question now is, why does it work so well? The answer is simple: direct, tangible benefits. But the really cool thing about a waste to value system is that apart from the massive benefits that it offers individuals, it also manages to attack larger societal issues. Poverty, hunger, and education are all major problems that could be easily affected by leveraging the trash economy. Rather than trying to talk people into becoming more waste conscious, offering real-life benefits makes it a no-brainer for most people to come aboard. This is especially in communities that are more concerned about where the next meal, paycheck, or means of survival will come from than the environment or sustainability. Another important benefit is the circular, locally based, and community-centered economy that it creates. Rather than depending on external forces, the people are more involved in the development of their communities. One more is employment. Some African countries suffer as high as 20 to 30% unemployment rate, a dangerous number for one of the most populated continents in the world. But what if waste could help? Investing in waste value systems like this means the jobs open up, the collection centers, the sorting, processing, reuse, and the like. Virtually every part of this process is an opportunity in communities where formal jobs are not in abundance. Now, while all of this is true, there are some caveats to consider and keep in mind. As simple as all of this looks on paper, it could also become a problem really quickly if the proper foundations are not built. Like anything that will stand the test of time, it starts with infrastructure. Waste collection, processing, and reuse are activities that require proper infrastructure for a value system to actually be valuable. Without the right infrastructure, chances are that all that waste will become stockpiled and grow into a bigger and costlier problem than when they were on the streets. Sorting facilities, expert-run recycling centers, and of course, efficient logistics must be put in place to support a widespread waste exchange system. But with widespread use also comes the higher likelihood of exploitation. Governments must also put systems, orientations, and auditing systems that ensure that these programs reach the vulnerable population without turning into a problem of exploitation. Children should not be made to go around picking up waste in place of schooling, or worse, risking their lives. This is a system that can get really messy. Therefore, there must be policies that protect workplace environmental standards and the right of both formal and informal workers. And this, of course, brings us to the waste items themselves. Whenever people hear plastics or waste or recycling, the first images that come to their mind is the PET bottle. While this is not wrong, it could affect the market. There is a long list of other waste materials that could be causing even more damage, yet they are ignored. For the best big picture benefits to be reached, there must be a proper balance between what is profitable and what is the best for our planet. Our world is in a struggle with climate change, inequality, and depleting resources. But turning waste into what is one way we can start solving big problems with small solutions. It is more than just a clever way to recycle. It is a revolution in the perception of value, as we have seen waste for the average person could mean a job, a ride to work, a hot meal after a long day, and even giving children an education. For the communities, there is first and foremost a ton of money saved on waste management, but beyond money, you can get cleaner streets, healthier societies, and stronger self-reliant economies. For our planet, it means we are moving the needle closer to sustainability. By scaling these models, governments not only get a cleaner environment, but also increase the value of nearly every item and every person. What are your thoughts on a waste to value system? Would you get involved? Let me know in the comments section. And if you made it to the end, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, check out the videos on the screen to your right. See you there.